I'm joined by Charlie Brooker, and having discussed how to describe him, we've settled on human being. So Charlie, thanks for joining us.
That's all right, my pleasure.
It's a big weekend in the Brooker household. Your new Sky One show starts tomorrow on
Sunday. A Touch of Cloth starts Sunday. Also, it concludes Monday, and it's a broad. It's probably one of the broadest things I've done. The idea is it's a gag-packed spoof of dark British detective drama serials in the sort of Messiah, wire in the blood sort of mould. And it's starring John Hannah and Saran Jones, and I've co-written it with Daniel Meyer, who has spent many years writing on TV burp, so he's got that sort of eye. The idea was to do something that was just outrageously stupid, as opposed to sort of dark or particularly satirical or anything like that.
So it's in the kind of Airplane Police Squad kind of mold.
Very much so, and we took Airplane. The original Airplane was very much the mold, in that what I loved about Airplane, and what I think a lot of subsequent parody movies got wrong, was that all the actors in it you recognise from at the time, certainly you recognise from other serious disaster movies.
People like Peter Graves.
Peter Graves and
Leslie
Nielsen at the time was being very, very deadpan. And all the performances were completely straight. And furthermore, it was based on, they bought the rights to a script called 0 Hour and just sort of rewrote it, sort of drew knob gags all over it effectively. And that was pretty much the mould we used for this. We got the rights to a story. We got a storyline written by Boris Starling, who actually created Messiah, which starred Ken Stott. And we used a storyline that they hadn't used for an episode of Messiah as the basis. We always said that was like our dark, bleak background. It was like we were taking a very serious painting and drawing penises all over it like schoolboys.
Was that tough for him, having his sort of serious piece of work, which he slaved over, turned into a piece of TV nonsense?
No, I think he enjoyed. I think generally speaking, the reaction from crime writers who've seen this seems to be very positive, because I think it's interesting. When we were writing it, what we did was we made compilations of. We'd get all the autopsy scenes we could find, or all the crime scene, discovery scenes we could find, and we'd edit them together into compilations, so we were watching things out of context. So you'd see a scene from Spiral, and then a scene from Inspector Morse, and then a scene from Wallander or something. And when you're not following the story through, it's quite interesting how you see how absurd and unreal these scenes are, in a way that when you're following the story, you get caught up in the sort of TV logic of things. And you realise how formulaic detective serials are, in a way that just there's a lot of strange things, there's a lot of exposition. It seems to me that 90% of doing a detective drama serial is about hiding the fact that you're just blurting exposition all the time. That's why they're always walking down corridors and sort of, they do recaps. They have to do recaps to remind you that you're constantly seeing scenes in them where they're going, so, what do we know? And they'll go over to their glass
the
mood board that they've set. Pointlessly, a glass evidence board, which is only glass so they can shoot through it. It's the only reason. And then I think those things have started infecting things like Crime Watch. You get glass evidence boards in the background of Crime Watch, because I think they're trying to look like Silent Witness. It's all sort of feeds into each other, and half the time it's just sort of a list of facts. So it was quite liberating to do something that was just stupid. The point of the thing is just to be entertainingly silly.
And I've seen a few clips, and it's absolutely packed with gags. I mean, what was your? They're both 90-minute shows, is that right? So
no, they're both. Well, each the first story. The first story is which is the one that goes out in 2 parts, and each part is an hour. And then I think they're showing it in an extended version as well, which is a sort of 2-hour version, which has got an extra scene. That's kind of, we're following the model of a bank holiday weekend, bleak. That's what you want on an August bank holiday, isn't it? Is death and sort of baroque killings. So that's the model we're following. Originally it was gonna go out as a 2-hour thing, and it felt like the sort of density of the different types of gag in there was a kind of a bit too much to take in one sitting. So there was a natural point where there was a cliffhanger halfway through. So we sort of split it in two. We've tried to put as many different types of joke in there, and that's the other thing that Airplane did, was it would have puns, it would have wordplay, it would have surreal sight gags, and it would have quite a lot of sort of tasteless gags that would just swim by kind of slightly under the radar. So we've tried to pack every frame with there's things going on in the background and so on and so forth. So hopefully it will bear repeated viewings, even if people despise it. They'll have to watch it again to work out exactly what it is about it they despise, hopefully.
Well, that's a touch of cloth. It would be great if you could give us an idea of what else you're working on at the moment.
Well, we're doing. We're doing some follow-ups to Touch of Cloth. We're doing. Just finished shooting the second one. We're doing a third one, which we've got Karen Gillan, Amy Pond has joined the team for the third one, which is quite exciting. We're doing. We're also shooting some more Black Mirrors. Doing a second series of Black Mirror at the moment. Where
more animals?
No more animals. No, and I mean more. They're more. Again, the first series. Each episode, they had a common theme, which was sort of technology helping humankind to mess itself up effectively.
Were they kind of Twilight Zoney, or was that sort of
very much? That was very much the idea, was because I loved the Twilight Zone and things like that. Second run again, but the first run there were three different genres almost. The episodes, so we had a sort of political ticking bomb thriller, I guess you could call it, dystopian sci-fi nightmare, and a sort of domestic harrowing breakup, but with a kind of technological twist. And in the second series, we're doing three stories again, and again they're all, you could say they're different genres of television, I guess. So the first one we're shooting is a romance, I guess you could say.
Is this new territory?
It's not a nice romance, put it that way, and there's a technological thing going on there. Which hopefully people will find entertaining. So that's shooting at the moment. So that's all quite exciting. And then I think I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. I'm doing the Wipe franchise is going to return in a slightly new form.
So beyond news and beyond screen.
Beyond
kind of
news,
wipe.
beyond screen, beyond games. Yeah, I think it will be a kind of omni wipe. That's a terrible title. So
working title.
That's not what it's called. But it's a kind of, the idea is I think that it's like an Emperor Dalek. It's the Emperor Dalek of wipe shows. It sort of combines all the best and all worst of all the different wipes we've done, hopefully in one. So that's interesting.
Is there a theme to your TV work? This is the TV festival, so we should look for. We should look for those
themes.
Complex, kind of theme to all your, maybe not the wipe stuff, maybe that's separate, but Dead Set, your kind of zombie Big Brother show, and then the Black Mirror stuff, and now Touch of Cloth.
I don't know. It's all. I guess it's all about. Generally, everything I do tends to be in some way commenting on the mechanics of television. I guess. I mean, you could say a Touch of Cloth is because it's a spoof of the way these things are made, and even the dialogue. They constantly say things. You know, there's like. Oh, the boss has rung. He's unhappy. He's in a hurry, and they'll say something like, "Well, let's just cut to you driving the car," and it will cut to them driving. Sort of fourth wall breaking dialogue like that. I've made it sound terrible there. So I guess I've always been obsessed with the way TV works or doesn't. So I suppose, I mean, even the Black Mirror episodes that I've done, often they're commenting on our relationship with screens and how we view people on them, and. So I don't know. I think generally though the theme that unites most of the things I do is desperation, and feeling like I'm making up for lost time, which is why I'm constantly trying to do different things all the time, sort of writing things or presenting things out of a terrible sense that time's running out, because it is, isn't it? We're all getting older.
For all of us.
Ultimately, we all will die. Let's not lose sight of that.
You're not having your head frozen.
Sorry?
You're not having your head frozen in the hope of. Future
no, what would be? I mean, imagine waking up as imagine if someone 100 years ago had their head frozen and we decided to wake it up. We'd just pop it on it'd be being interviewed by Kay Burley on Sky News. Imagine that nightmare, unfurling a head on a stick, being paraded around on. Actually, it'd be quite interesting to be woken up on sort of holographic news in 100 years' time. No, I no. I mean, probably before I die, they'll have worked out how to record the entire contents of your brain onto a USB stick or something, and then merge everyone together into some kind of electronic spider with a hive mind.
Shall I get a pen out and start writing this down?
Yeah.
If only we were recording this.
Yeah.
But what about yourself? You still write your column for The Guardian, of course.
I do.
And you're making lots of TV. Are you going to carry on combining those things without?
I think I'm taking a short sabbatical actually from the. I think I'm going to because I'm sort of knackered. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm like.
But that's good. I'm reassured by that.
I think I'm doing a little pause and then I'm coming back, just to sort of refuel. I think apart from anything else. And then I've got sort of next year should be interesting. I've got various other things that I know what I'm doing up until the end of 2013. So I like to try and.
Is that a good thing or is that a bit depressing? I don't mean depressing, but having your sort of your sort of life mapped out like that, in terms of it's quite reassuring, I guess.
It's depressing if then another opportunity comes up and you think, well, I can't do that until 2014 or something like that,
Right.
But no, it's good in that I still have that. I think because, as was established at the interview yesterday, I did nothing throughout the 1990s, and I feel like I'm making up for lost time. I've still got that freelancer's mentality of having to know what the next thing I'm doing is. So I think that's why I try and do as many things as possible, because I get I think like anyone, I get very neurotic. If I've just finished doing a series, then I start panicking that I'm not going to do another one. So I like to know that I've still got some sort of career going for the next couple of months. That's reassuring.
And as a former TV reviewer, how much kind of attention do you pay to reviews of your own work?
Well, I mean, it's nice to read them. I mean, generally, I think people are kind to me for some reason. Don't know why. But I mean, it's only annoying if it's negative. If you think that the reviewer is factually incorrect or has misunderstood something, or if it was something you knew you had to compromise on. But generally, I think I tend to get quite favourable reviews. I think overall, I think I'm quite lucky. So I've got nothing to complain about so far.
Okay, well, good luck with the show this weekend.
Thank you.
And I guess we'll look forward to the overnights on. Well, how much do you look forward to the overnights?
I don't. I mean, well, you can't. Well, I always assume with Cloth, it'll be interesting in that a lot of people still think it's a serious drama, and that title is a mistake and an accident. So I don't really know. And also, I think, isn't that? I mean, increasingly, things I do, I think I tend to appeal to people who don't have a television. I tend to watch things on iPlayer and things like that. I don't know. I think there is far too much of an obsession with ratings, but then I would say that because I've probably never been behind a massive ratings juggernaut. And I'm sure if I would, I'd be saying the complete and utter opposite. I don't know. I think I tend to do things which have, then it's not particularly culty and it's not particularly mainstream. It's somewhere in the middle brow, So, I don't know. Obviously, if a lot of people tune in to watch something, it's quite gratifying, assuming they liked it.
And the 10 o'clock show, is that coming back to Channel 4?
I believe so. Yeah, I think there's some. I think that's got to be worked out when that is, but I believe so. Yeah, so I've got to work out
somewhere in your 2013 calendar.
That'll be in 2013. If we pass the point where the ancient Mayans said that the world would be destroyed.
I don't know. I can't help
you.
Is
that coming
Charlie?
up? Yeah. We should do a live special around that.
Well, I'm sure we'll live blog it.
Yeah. No, there'll be more of those. So more opportunities for me to urinate on live television, which I did do the first time I was on live TV.
Well, on that note,
an
appropriate time to end. Charlie Brooker, thanks very much.
Thank you.